Hi friends, today I'm going to show you how to style flat hair, limp hair. Maybe your hair is short and you don't know how to do an updo. So this is how I would do it. This is the finished result. And first what you want to do is section off the nape. You want to section that off and take thin sections. Always take really thin sections and clip away the top. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in with a curling iron, and the one I'm using is really tiny. I think it's like 3/4 of an inch. Like, it's so tiny. I really like it to make really tight curls. So you want to curl upwards, because eventually when we go to do the updo, we want that piece that is at the nape to go upwards. So we want to section off the next section, and you want to take vertical sections and start curling. And you want to think about how the curls are going to sit. When you're closer to the temples or the face, you want the curls to be away from the face. And then for the rest of the updo, I was just curling down because I knew that that area was going to come down in the updo. So just keep going around the round of the head, and what you can do is do like different types of curls too. I like to keep all my curls uniform so that the updo looks cleanest. You can do flat curls, so a flat, what we call a flat wrap, or you can do like more of a twisted curl where you take kind of like how you would normally wand your hair and just twist the hair and curl it onto the curling iron. If you're using a larger barrel curling iron, it could work, but the whole point of this video is to give your hair more texture, and so you're gonna need a very tiny curling iron. So you wanna run your fingers through and see how now like the nape of the neck is actually coming upwards. So now I'm doing the same thing all around the head, and again I'm keeping all of the curls uniform. So the reason I did this video is because I know a lot of you guys are getting married and you don't want to hire someone to do your hair, or maybe you just want to create a nice updo, and maybe you've been told that you can't do an updo because you don't have enough hair or your hair is too fine. This is a great way to give your hair volume and to give your hair movement, and that is by using a very tiny curling iron. Larger barrel curling irons are not going to give you the same results, and neither will a flat iron either. So that's going to actually flatten your hair, so you always want to use a curling iron. I love twisting the hair because it makes the hair more fluffy. Now, if your hair doesn't hold curl, you want to use a hairspray. So use just a flexible, lightweight hairspray, and you want to spray your whole head evenly and then curl the hair. Now, mannequin hair takes curl very well, so I didn't need to do that. So this would be kind of what you would see in the back. And now I'm working towards the front of the face. This is really important because the front of the face is what we see. All of the curls have to be taken in small sections. Please take small sections because that's the whole point. I want every single piece at the root to be sitting upwards, so it has to be very fluffy and voluminous at the root, and you want to take small sections and then curl it away from the face. So we'll see at the end result. It's going to look really pretty. Now you want to section off the crown and do the same thing, and now you want to curl downwards, and you want the piece of the hair that you're curling to be kind of elevated up. You don't want to hold it down, and that is going to create the maximum volume. You might want to wash your hair first and put in some mousse and blow dry the mousse in for maximum volume. You can also do dry shampoo before you curl. There's a lot of things that you can do before you curl your hair. I didn't need to do that because mannequin hair takes curl very well, and usually I don't need to put in a whole lot of product. So now I've moved my mannequin towards the front. You want to find your parting, and you want to work with your parting. I keep taking very clean sections. I'm using my index finger to separate the hair. Make sure that you've brushed the hair thoroughly, that it's clean, that it's soft, and there are no knots or frizz, because this will make or break the top of your hair. This is possibly, I would say, the most important part, because this is what we are going to see, and it's also the part where you may want to put an accessory there at the end. You want, if you're getting married, or if you want to put a headband. So your roots have to look really pretty, and also very clean sections. I find whenever I do hair, taking clean sections is so important. It can really make or break your updo. If you take very messy sections, you could end up with very messy curls, very frizzy curls, curls that are just not gonna sit very well. So I am taking my parting into consideration, and if you don't have a middle part, you can take a side part. You can just work with your parting however you like to part your hair. There's really no wrong or right here. If you want to pull your hair backwards, you can do that as well. And I'm just recurling some of the pieces because I just want to make sure that they are very tight and curly. I want these curls to be very tight, so that when I go to brush them out and shake them out with my hand, I know that the curls are going to stay really well. You might want to give them a second to cool down before we move on to the next step. Okay, so now we let the curls cool. This is what it looks like. And then we brush it through with our fingers. So if you're doing this yourself, it's quite fun. Brush it through so that all of the curls are nice and bouncy, and we are ready to do our updo. I'm gonna go in with some Living Proof dry shampoo. Now, unfortunately, this dry shampoo was a bit white. It left a little bit of a residue, so you can brush this through. Hopefully the dry shampoo that you're using doesn't have that much residue. I love dry shampoo for updos because it gives a really, really nice grit to the hair, especially if you have really fine and soft hair. So you wanna divide up your hair into 3 sections. You wanna start off with the nape, and I'm gonna go in with an elastic that doesn't have any color, so I've just a clear elastic, and I just ran some serum through my hands because that will help take away some of the frizz and add shine to the hair. Now grab some bobby pins and let's start pinning. This is the fun part. So the way that you want to do this is just keep it really relaxed and casual, but you also want to keep in mind having balance with the updo so that it's not too heavy on the bottom, not too heavy on the middle, not too heavy on the top, so that there is a nice balance, especially with the shape of your head and how you want to look, the neckline of your dress and what you're wearing. And so what I'm doing is I'm pinning it on both sides, and it's okay if the bottom part, the nape part, is a little bit messy because the top part is going to sit on top, and it can hide a lot of that kind of messiness that we get when we're doing the nape. A lot of times I'll do a braid on the nape and then just allow the top to sit on top. Once we get to the second section, we want to allow the curls to just let us do what it wants to do. And this is why it's so important to have curls that are uniform, that you kind of pre-plan your curls before you do your updo so that they just kind of sit together. Because if you do curls that are not uniform and that are not sitting together, so if you do alternating curls, they're not going to come together and they're going to push apart, and it's going to be really, really messy. So I'm using my bobby pin kind of like a comb. I don't want to use a brush. I use the tip of the bobby pin to kind of comb through every single hair and separate the hairs that need to be separated, and then push it into place. So see, I'm pushing it and then I push it into the scalp. You want the bobby pin to kind of almost scrape the scalp, and you want to keep your hands very relaxed, very, very easygoing. You want the curls to be very easygoing as well, and just to sit very, very relaxed. That's the whole point of this updo, is just kind of a relaxed, I guess boho would be a good name. So now we are moving on to the crown and the fringe, so the top part and the final part of this updo. I am using my fingers to rake through the curls because that will allow the curls to break up and give me a bit more volume, a bit more fluff, and I can also kind of get a feeling of how all the curls are going to sit. Again, very, very important how you curl the hair. I'm going in with my Kenra hairspray. This is a flexible hold hairspray. You want to do flexible, you don't want to do strong hairspray just yet. You want to keep the strong hairspray for the very, very end. The flexible hairspray is really nice if you're using a professional quality. It'll give you really nice hold that is also very pliable as well. So it gives you a little bit of hold, just enough for you to start working on your updo. Take your pin and start pinning again, just as the curls want to sit, keeping in mind balance and volume. So I don't want to push the curls too far into the head because then that will flatten the updo. I want the updo to be fluffy. I want it to be voluminous. I want it to be wavy. I want to bring out the wave, and I'm using very, very little bobby pins. The more bobby pins you use, the more I feel like your hair is gonna be too flat. So just use very few bobby pins and go ahead and pinch the hair to where you want it to sit. And this is me basically just refining if there's any pieces of hair that you want to get rid of or you want to hide, then you can go ahead and do that. Pinch away whatever you need. You can hide some pieces that you don't want to be showing through, and then you can add a little bit of shine spray as well. Pay attention to the nape of the neck. Any pieces that are sticking out could end up falling loose because sometimes we have layers in our hair and they could end up coming apart and falling apart, you know, halfway through the ceremony. So it's okay to pin a lot right at the nape, but just leave the rest of the hair kind of sitting really nicely, especially if you have really fine hair. You're not going to need a whole lot of bobby pins. This is the finished result. And you can also add some accessories, pinch it where you feel like you need a bit more volume. And that is all. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure you follow me on Instagram at Lina's Makeup and Hair, and I will see you in another tutorial. Bye bye.